Welcome to the Page Turners Project, a part of Community Reads at the Wood County District Public Library. I'm Kathy East, with a review submitted by Dianne Klein, retired English teacher at Bowling Green High School. We'd like to introduce you to the book, The Selected Works of T.S. Spivet, a Novel, by Ralph Larson. Yes, despite its strange title, it is a novel. And the title is just the first of the unexpected elements you'll find when you pick up this book. The book's a bit larger than the usual novel, and there's a reason for this. Its story is illustrated, the illustrations appearing in the margins of the story. The story has lots of surprises as well. Do you remember what it was like to be 12 years old? Well, this story is told by a 12-year-old boy, but he is definitely an unusual boy. T.S., whose initials stand for Tecumseh, a family name, and Sparrow, given to him when a bird crashed into a window of the room where he was born. He's certainly precocious, perhaps even a genius, but he also has obsessive tendencies which only make this book more interesting. His compulsive personality is seen in the seemingly innumerable maps, charts, graphs, annotations, and drawings that illustrate the story and help us understand his thinking and his feelings. T.S. lives on his family's ranch with his seemingly mismatched parents and a sister. His father is a typical cowboy who runs the ranch and might wish his son were more of a cowboy type. Instead, T.S. is brainy, more like his mother, a scientist who studies beetles and whom he calls Dr. Claire. Both parents are cocooned in their own affairs, and T.S. seems somewhat alone and alienated. Then T.S. receives a call from a Smithsonian Museum administrator who asks him to come to Washington, D.C. to give a speech and receive a fellowship. Unbeknownst to T.S., his friend, an adult and colleague of his mother's, has sent the museum his drawings of beetles, which were considered extraordinary. However, the museum does not know that T.S. is 12. And of course, T.S. doesn't tell, but pretends to be an adult. He realizes how ridiculous the situation is and realizes that the trip is probably an impossibility. Yet T.S. decides to go. With only a suitcase packed mostly with underwear, and without telling his parents, he begins his journey across the United States by hopping in and out of freight trains and by hiding in a Winnebago. This on-the-road journey is fabulous, funny, and whimsical as T.S. ponders such heady thoughts as Newton's laws of conservation as he munches on McDonald's. There's one near almost every rail stop. Like Huck Finn, he has adventures and meets an array of strange and sometimes scary characters. And like Holden Caulfield and Catcher in the Rye, his adolescent mind is able to understand American society better than many adults. But mainly, it is throughout his long cross-country trek that we learn about T.S. himself, his childhood, his family's secrets, and its sadness, his story. Perhaps his story is the greatest surprise of the book. If you like the novel Curious Story of the Dog in the Nighttime by Mark Haddon, I think you'll like this book, The Selected Works of T.S. Spivet, a Novel by Ralph Larson. I'm Kathy East, encouraging you to read for pleasure often. For more suggestions, visit the Page Turners submissions on the Wood County Public Library's Facebook page.